My name is Jillian Perrick, but my friends call me Jill. I'm a lover of all things orange chocolate. Think One Tree Hill is way better than the OC. And as a person who stutters, I strive to empower women with invisible disabilities to go after their dreams, just like I did. I'm a mindset coach specializing in imposter syndrome, helping women overcome their inner imposter with my master's in psychology and my certification in neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, EFT tapping, and time techniques. And this is the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. This podcast is for you if you're an entrepreneurial woman trying to navigate the online space with a lot of passion and a lot of uncertainty. If you feel like your ideas are unoriginal, that your message isn't necessary or important, or like you're a complete and total fraud, then you've come to the right place. This podcast will take you from imposter to empowered with ninja-like brain hacks, easy to implement strategies, and uplifting real talk to make you feel like everything you want is in reach. Find me on Instagram at YourCoachJill to let me know how much you loved this episode once you're done listening. Time to kick that inner imposter to the curb. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast with me, your host, Jill, at YourCoachJill on Instagram. If you don't follow me, you probably should be, because all the best shit goes on there. We talk about Rhonda, my inner imposter, and she's a huge hoe. I made a TikTok and now I have to do some... Oh my God. Is anybody else on TikTok? Because if you are, please find me. It's going to say Your Coach Jill. I just made the mistake of calling myself Jilly Beans with a Z 23. And then I was like, why didn't I just call it Your Coach Jill? Anyways, I'm on TikTok, so if you are, because of the quarantine, I was like, I'll see what this TikTok thing is all about. And oh my God, be prepared to spend like hours down the rabbit hole. I told one of my clients about it and she was like, thanks a lot. I spent like hours on TikTok the other day. I was like, sorry, there's not much to do. There's not much to do. But today's topic is all about personal development. And because when we are entertaining those negative thoughts and we are making ourselves feel really bad about where we're at and how we don't know what we're talking about and that people are going to figure us out, it can be pretty hard to stay on the track of personal development, especially because you're going to be up leveling all the time. You're going to be doing new things and your brain is trying to keep you safe. So remember, your brain is just trying to preserve itself. It sees every emotional risk as danger. So it equates danger, physical danger, as the same as it would emotional danger. So that's why you would be terrified of going on a stage and speaking in front of people as you would be terrified before going skydiving. And that's just because, again, our brains are trying to keep us safe. It's trying to prevent us from feeling any unnecessary negative emotion like fear or anger or sadness, because those negative emotions lead to negative consequences, especially if you have experience with, for example, like overeating or self-sabotaging behavior. Anything that you're trying to avoid, because when you feel bad, then we naturally do things that aren't in our best interests. But the way you up level is to do things that scare you or to do things that push you out of that comfort zone. So essentially, I wanted today to talk for a second on compound interest. So compound interest, when it comes to bank accounts, I really hope I'm not fucking this up, but it basically just grows over time off of what is in the bank account. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If you're a math whiz or somebody in the financial industry, don't come at me. I don't care. Essentially what I'm saying is that I've never been great at math. It's never been my strong suit, but coincidentally, that has affected the way that I've handled my money, because I always used to tell myself, I'm not good at math, I'm never going to be able to figure it out. And that really was one of my blockers to being successful and like having a lot of money. And once I released that belief, the money started flowing in, and I'm not just saying that, it's true. So compound interest, it grows off of what is in the bank account. So when this comes to personal development, I want you to see your business and what you're doing, if you don't own a business, even just what you're doing right now to work on yourself, as compound interest. Everything you're trying is working towards whatever your goal is. So everything you're trying. So for example, for me in the mornings, I do EFT tapping, I do journaling, I do all these things to like really help myself like get into that high vibe, energetic state to be excited to serve my clients and work in my full-time job and all that fun stuff. But the thing is when I started in therapy last year in the beginning of 2019, I was doing all the work, but I wasn't seeing results and I was getting really frustrated. I also didn't have an idea of what results should be in terms of my like reasonable expectations. Like I expected to start to go to therapy and be like miraculously solved and have no anxiety within like 2 weeks, which is so unrealistic, but that's the way that we work, right? We're always trying to be like, this should be better, or this should be at this level even though it's not. So anyways, I had those unrealistic expectations of how I should feel and how I should be thinking, but all that therapy was working to the greater good of who I am today and how I am today. And a great thing that I did was journal the entire year, which I still do, but during that time I really like was deep into the journaling every single morning, like really journaling out everything that I felt about myself and thought. And reading back now, I'm like, wow, I have come so far. And that is because of the compound interest of continuously doing different things to help myself towards a goal of feeling better and just being a better person, a better daughter, a better friend, a better partner, a better business owner. And the same goes for your business. So it's not just about personal development. The same goes as well for your business. You may think that nothing is working and you're trying all these things, but it is working. Everything is working. And when you have that belief that even if something doesn't necessarily work out in the way that you want it to, like I've hired people that haven't worked out, or I've bought a website that I ended up just like leaving and buying another one, but all of these things have contributed to me learning so much about myself, about the way businesses work, about processes, about technology. Like if you told me that in like 2017, when I even started playing around with a website, that I was going to be really good at coding and SEO and all this stuff, I'd be like, okay, yeah, when? But it just comes with time. And I think patience is something that is lacking in the coaching industry right now, because there's so many people being like, I did this and this in 6 months. But the real things that we should be focusing on are the little things that we have started to teach ourselves and the things that we have improved on over a period of time, because you're always going to be improving. You're always going to be looking to the next thing. But if you're never satisfied, then you're never going to be satisfied. But instead, look at how all the work that you did before has contributed to where you are today. I know that every little thing that I've done, whether it cost me money or it didn't, or whether I believe that it was worth it or not worth it, I truly hold the belief that everything I've done has led me here today and is an effect of that compound interest of consistently building upon my skills, building upon my mindset, building upon whatever I've been doing, because it's working. It's all working. And when it starts to come together in a more like legitimate way. So for example, when my coaching business finally started to have consistent clients and I started to feel really good about where my messaging was and my content was, it started to feel like it was all coming together. But there are still things that I'm like, okay, I still need to work on this. Like I'm working on my first passive product and I'm like, fuck, like this is feeling like it's taking forever. It's just because I've had the idea for forever, but I haven't been working on it forever. It's been like 2 weeks and I'm still so frustrated. And then I have to remember everything I'm doing every single day is working towards the greater good and for my greater good. And the same goes for like doing your list at the beginning of the week. If you feel super overwhelmed and you feel like I'll never get all of this stuff done, break it up into chunks, because when you do small steps and work towards a project, you have more wins under your belt. So like, let's say for me, I'm like, I'm gonna build a course and I put build 3 modules of my course for an entire day where I have calls, my full-time job and all that stuff. I would be so upset at the end of the day. But instead, if I wrote upload video to first module and post the worksheet. And I did it because it would take me like a reasonable amount of time. I would feel so good about checking that off because it's those small steps that are leading me to where I want to be, which is completing the course and being done with it. The course is going to be low tier and it's going to be amazing. And it's going to be for basically anybody. I'm going to target it more to entrepreneurs, but I truly think that anybody can benefit from this work. I think that's all that I wanted to say today was the effect of compound interest and how everything you're doing is building upon what you're working on. And nothing is a waste of time when it comes to your personal development. No one thing is going to solve your problems, ever. No one person, no one thing, no one course, no one webinar, no one client, no one thing is going to change your life. You are responsible for changing your life, and it will be an accumulation of things that will come together and you will realize that they are all working. So for example, EFT tapping, amazing tool. I use it every single day. I encourage my clients to use it. It is one of the things that has really helped me with my own imposter syndrome and those negative beliefs, but it is not the only thing. I started therapy way before I started EFT tapping. So I did therapy, EFT tapping, I've done journaling, I've done forgiveness work. There are so many things that I've done that have contributed to why I am the way I am today, why I have such a better and resilient mindset, and why when I get caught in that imposter syndrome cycle or comparison or whatever, I'm able to easily pull myself out of it to the point where I'm not sabotaging anything at all. And that is the goal. It's not the goal to get rid of your inner imposter. It's not the goal to completely never feel negatively about yourself again. You're a human. You're going to have negative emotions. You're going to have thoughts that come to the forefront because the work that I do with clients is so subconscious and it's that unpeeling of the onion, getting to the layers of who you are as a person and your childhood experiences and things that have contributed to why you don't feel like enough or good enough or any negative belief you hold about yourself in the world. It's a process, but that stuff is never going to be eliminated. At each level, you're going to meet another devil. At each level, your inner imposter is going to come up, and the goal is never to just get rid of her. The goal is to be able to build on a resilient mindset and be able to work through it so she doesn't sabotage whatever you have in the works. The most successful entrepreneurs will say that they have imposter syndrome, but it's a very short time between them feeling and thinking that way to them getting shit done and being consistent and productive. There's a very short turnaround time because they have developed their mindset and developed that self-confidence where they can work through those things. And I think that's really important for you to know is that it's not going to be this be all end all come to Jesus moment where we're going to be I feel so good about myself and nothing is going to faze me, not one thing at all. I am so perfect. It's just not reality. But what is reality is you developing such a strong foundational mindset and belief in yourself that whatever comes up for you, you're able to work through. And I do that with consistent support with my mindset, really good strategy from professionals and support, just a sisterhood of support. That is what I have to say today about compound interest. So if you like this podcast episode, please screenshot and tag me on Instagram at your coach Jill. I hope you loved it. Let me know what you think about the compound interest concept when it comes to personal development and working on those inner imposter thoughts, because again, we all have them. And it's just remembering to look back and see how far you've come and how amazing you're doing. And that's each time that you work on this stuff, you improve. Little by little. Also remember that whenever you hit the next level, there is going to be that time where those things come up, but that's okay. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Leave a review so I can continue to make amazing free content for you guys. And speaking of free content, you can go to the link in my show notes and download my free 30-day journaling prompt workbook to help you overcome your inner imposter and attract the abundance you deserve. And finally, screenshot this episode and share it to your Instagram story, tagging me at your coach Jill so I can share it on my page. See you next time.